What? Need
Was
something?
I'm gonna make tea until people arrive, but I can hear
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah, that's fine. Well, I'll start with by putting his speech on. That's a good little
I
opener.
can hear it. Yeah,
I mean, you heard it
I
already.
understand about it.
Okay, hang on now. How do I turn the names off? Where are those at? Oh my goodness. Am I just crazy? How the fuck do you turn names off? Is it just somehow gone all of a sudden? Okay, well, hopefully the subtitles won't cover it.
والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
I'm also just gonna slow it down just a hair so people. It might be sped up already. But yeah, I'm gonna slow it down just a hair just so people have time to actually read the subtitles.
إلى أبناء الشعب السوري الأبي، أقف أمامكم اليوم بقلب ملئه الأمل والعزيمة، موجها كلمتي إلى كل السوريين والسوريات، إلى من يعيشون في مخيمات التهجير، إلى النازحين واللاجئين، إلى الجرحى والمصابين، إلى عائلات الشهداء والمفقودين، إلى الناشطين الثوار الذين كرسوا حياتهم للنضال من أجل سوريا الحرة. أقف أمامكم اليوم بعد 54 يوما من تحررنا جميعا، تحرر سوريا من قيود نظام مجرم جثم على صدورنا لعقود. 54 يوما مرت على زوال 54 عاما من أحلك أشكال الحكم الاستبدادي في العالم أجمع. تحررت سوريا بفضل الله أولا، ثم بفضل كل إنسان ناضل في الداخل والخارج، كل إنسان ضحى بروحه ودمه ومنزله وماله وأمنه وأمانه. تحررت سوريا بالشهداء والمعتقلين والمعتقلات والمعذبين والمعذبات والمفقودين والمفقودات، وجميع أمهاتهم الثكالى وأهلهم المكلومين بسبب تضحياتهم وتضحياتكم جميعا. أقف هنا اليوم لنفتح معا فصلا جديدا في تاريخ بلدنا الحبيب. انطلق هذا النصر من حناجر المتظاهرين وهتافات المحتجين في الساحات والميادين، انطلق من أنامل حمزة الخطيب وأهازيج المظاهرات وآهات المعتقلين والمعذبين في أقمية تدمر وصيدنايا وفرع فلسطين، واستمر بتضحيات الثوار الذين حرروا أرض سوريا رغم سنوات من عذابات الصواريخ والبراميل والكيماوي، فلم ينثنوا ولم ينكسروا. أيها الإخوة والأخوات، تسلمت بالأمس مسؤولية البلاد، وذلك بعد مشاورات مكثفة مع الخبراء القانونيين لضمان سير العملية السياسية ضمن الأعراف القانونية وبما يمنحها الشرعية اللازمة. ومن هنا أخاطبكم اليوم بصفتي رئيسا لسوريا في هذه الفترة المصيرية، سائلا الله أن يوفقنا جميعا للنهوض بوطننا وتجاوز التحديات التي نواجهها، ولن يكون ذلك إلا بتكاتف الجميع شعبا وقيادة. أحدثكم اليوم لا كحاكم بل كخادم لوطننا الجريح،
Not as a ruler, but as a servant.
ساعيا بكل ما أوتيت من قوة وإرادة لتحقيق وحدة سوريا ونهضتها، مستصحبين جميعا أن هذه مرحلة انتقالية، وهي جزء من عملية سياسية تتطلب مشاركة حقيقية لكل السوريين والسوريات في الداخل والخارج لبناء مستقبلهم بحرية وكرامة دون إقصاء أو تهميش. وسنعمل على تشكيل حكومة انتقالية شاملة تعبر عن تنوع سوريا برجالها ونسائها وشبابها، وتتولى العمل على بناء مؤسسات سوريا الجديدة حتى نصل إلى مرحلة انتخابات حرة نزيهة. واستنادا لتفويضي بمهامي الحالية وقرار حل مجلس الشعب، فإنني سأعلن عن لجنة تحضيرية لاختيار مجلس تشريعي مصغر يملأ هذا الفراغ في المرحلة الانتقالية. وسنعلن في الأيام القادمة عن اللجنة التحضيرية لمؤتمر
What'd you say?
My servant.
This guy? What do you think of the green tie?
Yeah. Looks like shit.
But you see what he's doing? He's got the freedom colors, the green, white, black.
Yeah, I don't mind the green,
So,
but it's like light
yeah,
green.
but
It
I'm
should
just
be
saying,
dark green.
whose idea do you think it is?
I know, probably his advisors.
This
I think
is
his
what I'm
advisors
talking
are
about.
very,
What I
very
want
liberal.
to know. You know, he's got fashion advisors.
Of course.
That's funny. That's hilarious to me. You know, because it's who he is.
Because
His
because of the jihad.
الحوار الوطني
Yes, because of the
والذي
jihad. That's why it's funny to me. Because look, like, have you seen the movie Four Lions?
No.
Okay. You're gonna love that movie. So
Maybe I've seen it. Tell me the plot.
it's about four British guys who are trying to join Al Qaeda.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I already want to see it.
And so but the thing is it's definitely made by people who are very well aware of like the culture and stuff. So like there's a whole scene where the one guy, he puts a box on his head because his dad is telling him that he can't show his face on camera. You know, and there's just like things like that that's like stuff that like a normal whitey wouldn't like key in on.
Yeah.
And like they end up going to two of the guys end up going to a training camp, and it's kind of like a Harold and Kumar thing where they're fucking up all of Al Qaeda's stuff because they're just idiots.
Okay.
But it's like that's the joke, is that they're all really, really stupid. But like that's my experience with these people. That's why it's so funny to me, because like that's literally like that movie. Like it's so accurate to how these people are and how they act. Nowadays they're a little bit more on this like they're really concerned about the queers and stuff nowadays. But once upon a time they weren't like that. They were more concerned about jihad.
تكون منصة مباشرة للمداولات والمشاورات واستماع مختلف وجهات النظر حول برنامجنا السياسي القادم. وبعد إتمام هذه الخطوات سنعلن عن الإعلان الدستوري ليكون المرجع القانوني للمرحلة الانتقالية. سنركز في الفترة القادمة على رسم أولوياتنا ضمن الآتي: تحقيق السلم الأهلي وملاحقة المجرمين الذين ولغوا في الدم السوري وارتكبوا بحقنا المجازر والجرائم، سواء ممن اختبأوا داخل البلاد أو فروا خارجها عبر عدالة انتقالية حقيقية. إتمام وحدة الأراضي السورية، كل سوريا، وفرض سيادتها تحت سلطة واحدة وعلى أرض واحدة، وبناء مؤسسات قوية للدولة تقوم على الكفاءة والعدل، لا فساد فيها ولا محسوبية ولا رشاوى، وإرساء دعائم اقتصاد قوي يعيد لسوريا مكانتها الإقليمية والدولية ويوفر فرص عمل حقيقية كريمة.
This channel, by the way, who did the subtitles, just to like point them out real quick, they have like all the stuff. You see?
That's good.
It's interesting. It says here, we present videos from the amazing city of Istanbul, Turkey. So they clearly came in from, used to making videos from Turkey, and now they have like one-on-one access.
تحسين الظروف المعيشية واستعادة الخدمات الأساسية المفقودة. يا أبناء سوريا الحرة، إن بناء الوطن مسؤوليتنا جميعا، وهذه دعوة لجميع السوريين للمشاركة في بناء وطن جديد يحكم فيه بالعدل والشورى. معا سنصنع سوريا المستقبل، سوريا منارة العلم والتقدم وملاذ الأمن والاستقرار، سوريا الرخاء والتقدم والازدهار، سوريا التي تمد يدها بالسلام والاحترام ليعود أهلها إلى وطن عزيز كريم مزدهر آمن مطمئن بإذن الله، والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bunch of DEI to me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, it's like it can go worse, It's like
that. Yeah, that's
anything.
That's what I always have. That's what I've been saying for a long time about Syria. Like it's already the worst. Like oh, you really want Al Qaeda in power? You really want ISIS in power? It's like, who knows? Like even ISIS might have been an improvement over Assad. That's probably the only reason they were successful there. Is like,
yeah, I understand, dude. People don't understand. ISIS is Assad. ISIS is basically the leftover generals from Saddam. It's like the same thing. That's it. Like just like Assad is doing it little bit more secretively than like propaganda stuff.
But this is like early days. Before like even like El Nasra front. I'm talking about when they had their initial surge of like people joining up because they seemed like a Sunni stan movement.
Yeah. I hate the current Kurdish sentiment. I understand it, but they are focusing on the wrong things. Like basically they're saying like, yeah, but Ahmad Shara is Islamist and Al Qaeda. Dude, okay, I understand that sentiment. I understand that argument, but the real issue is that nobody can say it, right? Like, nobody can like openly say it. The real issue is like people of Syria themselves are shit against Kurds. Like even Ahmad Shara is an improvement above. Like if it was up to the people, they will basically massacre Kurds like in the streets. like 3 people were arrested today in Homs, right? Like Kurdish people were arrested in Homs today, and they were like going to Homs for treatment and going to the hospital and shit, and they were like violently arrested, beaten up, and all the comments from the people were like, yeah, these are like terrorists coming from Rojava, and no sympathy, not zero sympathy for the wives, for the kids, for like, you know how I told you before this theme, like Turkey have like Turkish schools and shit like that. People talk shit about Turkey, but like they're like levels better than Syria. Like Syrian people don't even want Kurdish people to speak their language. Like literally, like the people like literally saying your language you can speak it at home, don't speak it publicly. This is this is the level we're at right now. I don't know. Azab is no. uh, I don't understand it. Like they really I really want to understand it also because like it doesn't like Kurdish existence doesn't mean that that doesn't mean less for you. Like like you can be Turkish and Arab and they can be Kurdish and everything. People don't even want to acknowledge the existence of Kurdish people. Like literally,
Well,
I've heard doctors and
even in
engineers
Iran,
literally say
right?
like, where
It's
did they come
it's like
from?
interesting because like there's the same thing where it's like there's this division from the Persian identity, and then they are blaming Kurds for basically like the revolution failing because they couldn't unite for one
Yeah,
Iran. And it's like they're not interested in like a state that's ruled by Persians,
yeah.
you know? And like there's this
You
whole
know,
narrative that the Kurdish Iranians are the most like integrated, like they're the most to identify as Iranian.
I actually like it's a matter that really needs historical analysis because this doesn't this like started like 100 years ago, like more than 100 years ago. This started like after the First World War. You know when Turks killed. You know when the Ottoman Empire failed, right? And millions of Ottomans came back to Turkey, like in 1910, right? When First World War ended and Ottoman were defeated, and basically millions of Ottomans retreated to Turkey, but there were almost no place for these people, like the people who returned. And so what they did was like they killed millions of people. They killed like 500,000 Kurdish, and they killed like 1.5 million Armenians. You know the stories, right?
The Young Turks.
Because they were like like this is our place. What the fuck are you talking about? They basically like started like the nationalist party stuff, like project started. And what I think is like basically when you deny the existence of Kurds, Armenians, these minorities, you basically kind of justify the historical bad treatment. It's like very complex and depends on many stuff.
So yeah,
Yeah,
what's insane
Jank did that.
about
Yeah, the Young
Iran
Turks.
is like how many of the percentage of people that they put to death are Kurdish. It's like all of them,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then it's like, and then these people who have the audacity to be like, they're dividing the revolution. You need to be in their revolution. Like, you need to stop, like,
Yeah.
this, like the Iranian identity, you know, that the Persians have that. And like, a lot of them, you know, like, some of these people are like their cousins, you know, because like they're like most of the population is in that area of Iran. Like Tehran is not that far away from the Kurdish region, so it's like you're literally like blaming your own family. and like you're doing this like anti-Kurdish sentiment, and you have Kurdish family members. It's wild.
Yeah.
I really don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand racism in general.
It's very different. It's very complex. Like in Iran, it's very different and specific than it is in Turkey. It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
very like Turkish people are not even secure in their nationality because Turkish people is a like relatively newly constructed nationality, right? Like very new. Like Kurdish identity is far older than the Turkish identity, and
Mm-hmm.
they know that. They basically know that. It's like in basically in their in their education that
What
the
do you
sun
mean, the
language
Mountain
theory and
Turks?
all of that. Yeah, and Kurdish people are like mountain Turks that forgot their language. Man, it's I
What's
I was in
the one
Gaziantep
group
once,
that's
and
like slightly older than the Kurds in Iran? That's right below them in the map. It's like 3 letters. What is that?
what
It's
there are
another
lots of
fucking.
groups, man.
Because Persia is really old too. The Persian identity is just what I was getting at.
Yeah, but like there are literally tens of groups that I can think of.
Yeah, there's one specific one that's like Lurs. Yeah, Luri.
Yeah.
So like they're just
Well,
slightly older than the Kurds in Iran, but they like literally are. They're literally next to each other.
Luri, man, I probably know it in the original language. Um, I was in Gaziantep in 2000 and 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend and I were in a taxi. We started talking Kurdish among each other, and the taxi driver heard us, and he was like, "Ah, you're Kurds." He was like a Turkish Kurd, and he spoke to us in Kurdish, and he said, "Ah, you're Kurds. My father and mother used to be Kurdish."
Used
And
to
me
be.
and my friend we looked at each other and like, and what are you like? Your mother and father used to be Kurdish. Like, your mother and father were Kurdish. Like, what are you? And he said, "No, I'm Turkish."
Oh, so he was joking around, right? Is
No,
that
he
what
was
you're getting?
100% serious.
Oh,
Like he's accepted the Turkishization of the people are tired, man. People are fucking tired.
there you go. Elam. Back in Babylon is where they come from. This is where their name comes from.
Ilam, yeah.
So they were
Yeah.
around in the Babylon times. As among Kurds, Lur women have much greater freedom. Bunch of genetic stuff. That don't even look like English.
Kurdish women have always been strong. People often think like YPG like established that. No, it was like established before that. One of my
So,
relatives, him and his wife had a fight, so he took out his Kalashnikov and he like threatened her with the Kalashnikov. So she took also her Kalashnikov and threatened him back, and they almost started shooting each other. Like man and wife started shooting each other with the Kalashnikovs.
I mean,
It's
that's
very
marriage,
Kurdish.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, you do, Azab. Kurdish women are the most beautiful. I think it's in my opinion. I don't know. It's like very subjective. It's very biased opinion.
ah, Stop it.
MBS.
Yeah. He's so gamer pilled. Wonder if, hey.
He should have waited until Trump was there, because Trump's also first foreign visit will be Saudi Arabia.
Well, I know that the United States has already met with him. So don't tell anyone. Shh. But like, of course they did. Of course they've talked to them. It, he looks kind of nervous, doesn't
Which
he?
one? Both look nervous.
It's so
After
funny
that
that he
meeting,
showed up in a suit to Saudi Arabia. You know? Like all his
yeah,
guys were in suits and ties instead of like any type of like, because that's what I think is like so cool about certain things like Saudi Arabia, where they like their fashion is not like, they will, if they go and they're in the West, they will dress Western fashion, but then it's like what's elegant to them is like just completely different. Like I appreciate people who like preserve that and didn't like just immediately adopt the whole suit and tie thing
yeah.
from the Europeans and shit.
Dude, have you ever dressed like a Saudi though?
No.
Man, you should. It's the most comfortable shit you'll
Mm-hmm.
ever wear in your life. It's like really like a comfortable pajama. It's like the most comfortable pajama ever. Basically, you're basically in your underwear under that. Under that.
So I mean, um, we also have them in what now? What's the other country that I'm trying to blank on the name of? That he went to? Was it the Emirates or Kuwait? Where did you just go to? I just had it open not that long
Syria.
ago.
That's good. I've listened to lots of Kurdish conversation sentiment about the whole like matter, like him becoming president and everything, becoming like the de facto leader and president, el presidente. And um, I really think the Kurdish like rhetoric should change a little bit, because he's he's the leader. Okay, we cannot like people criticize that fact, but like that's it. Like you should like go beyond that. Okay, like it's not like Trump became president. You can't say like why is he president? Why is he president? No, you should like accept that fact and work upon it. Like okay, like go further. Like you can't like be against him becoming president forever. Like are you like refusing the truth of the matter?
Cope. That's what it is.
No, I'm saying like there's I'm agreeing with them, but I'm like just disagreeing with how they're like structuring their counter argument. You understand what I'm saying?
So literally, and he Qatar came to him. So he went to Saudi Arabia, but I guess Qatar came to him. Maybe this is in Saudi Arabia
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
on his Saudi mission.
Dude, I was actually impressed by like the Qatari prince. It's actually very courageous to visit a state like Syria.
Yeah, so it is Syria. It's not meeting him in.
No, it is Syria.
Good.
Um, Maybe this is another thing, but I remember like specifically that
No, I
Qatari
just wasn't
prince
sure because he was just
did.
in Saudi Arabia too, and it would make sense for Qatar to go to Saudi Arabia to meet him there, and then he receives them in Saudi Arabia. But
Mm.
like Qatar also, like I'm not exactly shocked that they would not be afraid to go to Syria.
This is actually interesting because Qatar like really wanted to meet him before he met the Saudi like king, like the to be king, MBS
Interesting.
crown
So he
prince.
came in and sniped him.
Yeah, and he was like, man, we have to talk to him before the Saudis talk to him. Like these things happens in politics because Qatar has the disadvantage of having less power and wealth than Saudi Arabia, right? So they have to uh, like go like harder. No, man, it's Azab. It's I've just accepted like the stupid pronunciation of the Western people. I've just
What of
accepted it.
Qatar?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I know how to say it. I know how to say it, but I just
it's Qatar, Qatar.
I know.
Like
But
I've
then
heard
there's
people like even saying it's
Amy
not
on
Qatar,
Democracy
and then
Now. She says Qatar. That's what you'll hear a
it's not
lot.
Qatar. It's
So
Qatar.
I know, but that's what you'll hear people say. They'll try to pronounce it right, and they'll say Qatar, like Cutter, Qatar.
Can you can you pronounce the letter ha ha ha
Ha
Ahmed? Huh?
ah. What am I doing?
That's 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 a fail, yeah. It happens in Kurdish also because we have like letters that doesn't exist also in Arabic, and Arabs like really try to pronounce it.
يشرفني أن أرحب ترحيبا حارا بزيارة سمو الشيخ تميم بن حمد آل ثاني إلى سوريا. هذه هي الزيارة الأولى لرئيس دولة إلى دمشق بعد تحريرها، وهي الزيارة التي تسلط الضوء ليس فقط على العلاقة القوية والدائمة بين دولة
Change that
قطر
name.
والجمهورية
SAR
العربية السورية،
sucks.
ولكن أيضا على الروابط
You know,
العميقة
Azab,
بين الإنسانية
most
والتضامن
of Kurdish people are not
والأخوة
pragmatic because
والرؤية المشتركة التي توحد بين بلدين.
they haven't had like a proper
إنه لمن دواعي سرور أن
education
أقف هنا إلى
about
جانب
like
زميلي الموقع معالي
because
وزير
they've
الدولة
always like
للشؤون
historically been
الخارجية
rejected
الدكتور
from
محمد
governing
مصطفى.
bodies, from like
في هذه
leading,
اللحظة
from
التاريخية
all the parties
للجمهورية
were banned,
العربية
so they
السورية
only know the
على مدى
language of
السنوات
revolution.
ال14
That's the
كانت
only
قطر
thing they know.
حليفا ثابتا للشعب السوري
So they always
وتعاملته
like
بثبات خلال
very
الأوقات الأكثر تحديا. هذا الموقف
contrarian,
الحازم هو
you can say.
التزام لن ينساه الشعب السوري، بينما نفتح اليوم فصلا جديدا في سوريا الجديدة، ويسعدنا أن نرى هذه العلاقة تنمو وتتطور أكثر من أي وقت مضى. لقد ناقشنا في اجتماعات اليوم إطارا شاملا للتعاون الثنائي فيما يتعلق بإعادة الإعمار، وغطت مناقشاتنا قطاعات حيوية بما في ذلك البنية التحتية وضمان استعادة أسس المجتمع والاستثمار والخدمات المصرفية وتمهيد الطريق للتعافي الاقتصادي والصحة والتعليم وضمان الوصول إلى الخدمات لكافة السوريين.
I'm also just gonna post the person's channel who's subtitled and posted these videos as well in chat for everyone.
بل تتعلق أيضا باستعادة الأرواح واستعادة الأمل وإعادة بناء مستقبل سوريا. إنها تتعلق بضمان
This guy is not that impressive, this foreign minister.
I mean, it's just a fucking
I could do like
State Department meeting, you know?
لاستعادة مستقبله
yeah,
الأفضل.
but I've heard him like
ومرة
his
أخرى
speeches,
أرحب ترحيبا
and when he
حارا
like also talks
بزيارة
in
سمو
English, and
الأمير. ونحن نتطلع
thing is
إلى
like
مواصلة تعزيز علاقاتنا الثنائية
it's very bad. I don't know. I feel like I can do much better.
وستظل سوريا تتذكر دائما دعمكم الثابت، واليوم يشرق المستقبل من دمشق أكثر من أي وقت مضى. فأهلا وسهلا.
Shines brighter than ever before.
شكرا
Don't those doors look like ice cream sandwiches?
Yeah, I'm a sandwich man. I really want some ice cream sandwich. You know, Azab, the you know when Abdullah Öcalan formed his party, the PKK, he formed it after he was rejected from being like from the military, the Turkish military academy. So he basically did the Hitler thing.
I was about to say, sounds like Hitler.
Oh, yeah, it's very complicated, and then he formed that party. I actually like this is actually very like I have the pragmatic thinking of people say like YPG is not PKK, YPG is not PKK. No, I mean like people say YPG is PKK, right? PKK is the real leadership, and I'm saying, yeah, okay, theoretically correct. This is how YPG formed, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to stay that way. The YPG can be much better.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
just look at
we can,
Jelani. You know,
yeah,
once just a
like
Al Qaeda guy, now the
yeah, the
president of
YPG
Syria.
is like exactly, yeah, the YPG is like PKK 2.0, right? PKK is still like stuck in old ideology. The PKK is like I like lots of impressive things and their ranks, but it's like basically Sean Finn, right?
Mm.
This is how you say it, the party?
Sinn Féin.
Sinn Féin, oh yeah. Yeah, because I've only read it, haven't heard it.
You know what it
Sinn
means?
Féin is basically, hmm?
Do you know what it means?
Um, no, I just know that
We
it's the
ourselves.
Irish party. We ourselves?
We ourselves.
Okay.
That would be a direct translation, you know? It's
From what language? Celtic?
Gaelic.
What?
Gaelic.
Gaelic. Ah, yeah, yeah, Gaelic, yeah. It doesn't sound like a human language, to be honest.
It's a very interesting language.
It is, it is.
Irish
It's
language.
basically uh, um, w- um, it's basically the PKK hasn't formed that party, political party. They haven't like
Mm-hmm.
figured it out. Like they haven't like went that route to form a pragmatic political party. They only know war, you know, because basically um, like Sinn Féin was established because Britain is a very like relatively speaking, it is very progressive, very yeah, like it's like ages like levels better than Turkey in our environment, right? So basically, it's like a huge difference between like Sinn Féin is they could go the political route, the diplomatic route, because there was environment that allowed them to establish that political party
Mm-hmm.
because there was like enough tolerance to establish it, right? But that tolerance doesn't exist in our region, so we only know war.
What's
That's the problem.
interesting, so like, a lot of people forget that it's like the Troubles was a civil war, you know? They weren't fighting the British, but the first IRA back in the like World War I
Yeah, they
times,
were fighting the loyalists.
um, in the World War I times when the first IRA forms, they splinter and basically the leader got assassinated. Like the founder of Ireland gets assassinated um, by like a guy who is worshipped by the IRA in Northern Ireland, right? So Northern Ireland IRA is the opposite side of the original IRA, politically, right? So like people who like them hate the old fucking guy in Ireland. Isn't
Yeah,
that wild?
that's that
But
happens
Britain
a
did the
lot
same
actually.
thing with him basically. It's like that's the reason the Civil War starts is he signs a deal where basically that they get some representation in British government, but they wanted a free state. But effectively, Ireland was a free state anyway. There was no point to assassinate him because Easter Rising is still recognized as the Irish state of independence, and that was before he did these contracts. So
Yeah,
Britain may have recognized them as British territory, but the rest of the world recognizes when the war started as when Ireland was independent.
yeah, that's interesting actually because it's still ongoing to this day. Like how like like Northern Ireland still wants to be part of Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's closer now than ever. It
Yeah,
almost happened because of the EU, Brexit. So nobody in Northern Ireland voted in favor of Brexit, and so they wanted to stay part of the EU. So they ended up working out a deal where basically they get the same advantage as they had before and with customs and stuff. Basically, what was going to happen is a hard border was going to be formed between Northern and Southern Ireland,
but
right? And
that's
nobody
only
recognizes the
northern,
border
right?
there anyway. Like
Oh, okay, but
they all see it
that's
as one
only
state anyway. So they didn't want this hard border to form, and so there was secessionist, and even like some kids came out and like firebombed buses and stuff. There was a little bit of violence, but like the older guys who were actually in the troubles basically whipped their asses and said, "What the fuck are you doing? Like we're not starting this shit again."
oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember Jerry Adams like tweeted about it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone died, but a bus was burned.
Yeah, man, that's actually interesting because like you were saying that only Northern Ireland have these perks. Like that's right.
Well, so like because all of Ireland was in the EU before, and now Northern Ireland is not in the EU. So
But they
they had to work out a deal with the EU to basically make it so the hard border wasn't in Ireland. So they basically do customs enforcement offshore. And when the customs enforcement is done, then the goods come in and stuff.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's
It
that's
was all
crazy,
just to prevent them seceding from Britain.
dude. This is actually will be like a very interesting precedence, right? If that happens, they like
The reunification.
merged. Yeah, because it will be like what will happen to Catalonia if Catalonia happened also like one Northern Ireland, two Catalonia, like Kurdistan could happen, right? But
Here,
man, like
I'm
even Kurdish people are tired
posting an
of
article
this
on what I'm
bullshit.
talking about for everyone. If anyone's interested, you can bookmark that. It's called the Northern Ireland Protocol. Speaking about EU and trade, what's this about sanctions being lifted in Syria, right?
Oh yeah, I was reading chat. Like this is actually very interesting. There was a debate in Germany about soldiers not like people not wanting to join the army and who will fight.
Who's posting YouTube links in our chat? Watch this. Does it have anything
Man,
to do with Syria?
that Arabic coffee he's drinking is probably
That's
the Arabic
vodka. What are you
coffee, the Saudi
talking
Arabic.
about?
Yeah,
He's getting hammered.
it's the best coffee you'll
We're
ever
drinking to that.
drink in your life. No, man, Saudi coffee, like Arabian coffee, is the
I know,
best
I'm just
coffee
fucking around.
ever. It's like much better than fucking Western coffee.
Why did you send us stuff about the DNC when we're talking about Syria?
Oh, because
I
of
don't care.
Tim, right?
Huh? It's just this fucking account that just posted a link in our chat. Just fucking. If they're not still in the chat, I'm gonna ban the account. You know? Because it's like, I'm not gonna have you come in here and spam my chat. They're not. I'm gonna
Just come
report
in
them for
and
spam
like
too.
post links, and that's it.
I'm literally reporting them for spam.
Pornhub is going to be banned soon in Texas.
It is.
No, is it already? I don't know.
You can't access it basically.
Oh man. You know the hail and the coffee? You have to try it. Guys, anybody who can order like Arabic coffee with hail, do it. So what about the sanctions?
Yeah, what about the sanctions? Sorry, I got distracted by somebody spamming my chat with dumb shit. France has lifted sanctions.
Oh
I know
man,
that.
Azab, I can send you the German link, but it will be like German Amazon is different from
Are
American.
you
I
talking
don't know
about
where you
porn
look.
right now, bro?
Google it. What?
You monster. So weird picture for an article. Fuck you. I'm gonna fucking search this on X where I'm not gonna be hit with fucking turn off your ad blocker nonsense.
I just type Arabian coffee with hail. It's like really, really good. The hail makes it
certain sanctions
makes the flavor.
Today, we have decided to lift or suspend certain sanctions affecting the energy, transportation, or financial sectors that currently hinder serious economic stabilization and the initiation of the reconstruction process. This suspension of sanctions must be accompanied by a political transition involving all Syrians. Today, we have decided to lift or
So it sounds like they're saying that they haven't lifted sanctions. The sanctions are basically in escrow, and they'll disappear as soon as they see a government that involves all Syrians. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
Judging from that little 2-minute statement he gave.
Yeah. I've told you before. The Syrian GDP used to be used to be 64 billions in 2011. It like according to that rate, it should have become like my estimates, like because I studied economy, maybe 200 billions. Uh, GDP is a bullshit number, don't get me wrong, but it's like good metric to understand the basic levels.
It's yeah, bro.
And
It's
now
all everything is bullshit.
it's 6 billions. Like it went from 60 in 2011 to 6 in 2025. So Syria should be like at least like 25 times better. And the West is I don't know, they still want some of this most of the sanctions as leverage. They don't want to like remove them all at once, I think. It's like basically leverage to get guarantees.
I'm just trying to get this to fit, but it's not going to. This is what we're gonna do instead. Crazy. I can like just drag it to my 4K monitor on the other side and it completely changes how it's seen.
Focus up, man.
What do you mean? US forces withdrawing? Alleged leaks about desire to withdraw. News about the withdrawal of US forces from Raqqa can be denied. As for now, this is simple troop rotation. The main axis that is spreading this misinformation are Turkish media affiliates and CDM SNA. Yeah, just classic information warfare. They're just showing people moving, U.S. troops moving and saying that they're leaving. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Pranked you.
You can't trust any sources.
I mean, I trust this guy right here. He's the best.
Okay. We've talked before the stream about how Marco Rubio having like completely different
Yeah.
opinion and on the matter than Tulsi Gabbard. Like Tulsi Gabbard saying something and Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, is saying completely different stuff. Marco Rubio saying that we have
Rubio's
to
not
like
an
build
idiot.
friendship with Rubio saying we have to make friendship with the new Syrian government because Russia and Iran can't go back to forming friendship with them. And Tulsi Gabbard saying we have to like treat Syrian leadership as Qaeda. No. And Trump saying, what is Trump saying? This DEI must stop.
What, DEI in Syria? Or
Yeah.
the joke is that 9/11 is now mandatory because there's been 2 air disasters.
Do you think it's a coincidence that it happened like so close to each other? Like
Yes, I think it's a coincidence.
I think that too. I think it is.
But
It is a
you know
coincidence
what's
too, but
what's
it's like,
actually
wow, man,
interesting?
what
You
the
remember
fuck's up?
the train derailment in East Palestine, right?
Yeah, the chemical.
Do you remember the reasons why it derailed?
Yeah, deregulation, right?
Yeah, basically, is one guy was doing the job of 3 other people. Guess why this
Yeah.
plane crash happened?
Same reason.
It's one guy doing the job of 3 people. Yep. The air traffic
Holy
controller
shit.
was doing multiple jobs for one person. Same type of disaster, right? That's how they
Okay.
happen.
And they're blaming it on the the.
Well, Trump is. That's what he did
So how can you
immediately. It
how
it
can you
was
blame it
it
on
was
the I like?
disgraceful. Well, according to him, because he has common sense,
Wow,
which
okay.
is what he said when they asked, "How do you know it was DEI?" He said, "Because I have common sense." Yeah, but this most recent one was um, it was a medical transport jet. It was a private company, so it was only like a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
people. Which those types of crashes are the ones that do happen. You know, there was even not that long ago there was the crash where a guy crashed into that furniture store on his private plane.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of Tulsi Gabbard, according to this guy,
Oh man,
uh,
yes, I saw that. Yeah, yeah.
so it says Tulsi Gabbard was inspired by a quack MIT professor. The expert source was actually Syrian girl.
Yeah, fudge. I think that's what they believe. I saw that from Karim. By the way, this guy Karim, he's one of the his like his mother is very famous in Syria.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yes, she was like opposition against Assad, like against father of Assad, like long time ago, and they basically escaped to the United States. But they're very elitist. Like you can think of them as like very liberal. Um, like you can say like his mother is basically kind of what like the Hillary Clinton of Syria.
You know what I think's interesting about Tulsi is when you get a real close look at her, you see that she's covering up some Palpatine scars. You know, and she's
Yeah,
actually Palpatine.
this is one of my theories about her.
She's a Sith
She
Lord.
was so bullied that she was so bullied that she decided to destroy the world because of her bad skin. Dude, I saw her confirmation hearing, and I swear, like this is like you know how they like in Cash Patel's confirmation hearing, and they
I
fucking
mean, I
roasted
watched
his
it.
ass.
That's what I was watching on the news yesterday.
Yeah, but have you noticed like how like they're not afraid of Cash Patel? They fucking roasted his ass. But Tulsi Gabbard, like some of the people were like kind of like afraid of her, kind of like they were not as brutal against her.
Yeah, because the only thing they actually care about with her was Edward Snowden. They don't give a shit about her meeting with Assad.
Yeah. Hmm. But I don't know about the sanctions.
If they'll actually get lifted, I mean, according to what it sounded
Yeah, but
like,
like
that
not all of them.
they might not. Yeah, not. Yeah. You want to see a fucking dumb meme I found? I was like, ha 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 ha. This is so funny.
can't see anything.
Hang on, I'll fix it. Just give me a second. Just gotta center up properly. I don't know. First, let me do this, then do this. Love this. Car bombs. And then, you see, it's the SDF. They're throwing the people.
Yeah.
And then it says, don't forget to let some ISIS prisoners escape while you're at it. As in, the Kurds are actually ISIS because they allow them
Who's
to
posting
escape.
this? Who's posting this?
Some fucking guy. I just saw it and I was laughing. Or girl.
Dude, they're always Turkish.
I know, right? Uh-oh. Ireland, Palestine.
Like,
Uh-oh. Ireland and
Holy
Turkey.
shit.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It all comes full circle, bro. I can't believe this.
You know, it's like one-sided, right? It's a one-sided love relationship.
Who's one-sided?
Like the Irish don't like the Turks.
Yeah. Why would they like Turks? This is just funny.
It's kind of interesting how lots of Turkish people are feel like the populism, like they think their populism makes them revolutionary. Like they're nationalistic.
Yeah, Grey Wolves.
Yeah, the Grey Wolves, exactly.
We have a little thing about them.
And oh man, I think man, I wanted to say something, but my fucking brain is. I think I'm still high.
We can wrap up here in a second.
I'm so high.
Haraz al-Din put out a statement saying it's dissolved its organization based on orders from Al-Qaeda's general command.
What the fuck? Oh, send me this.
Yeah. Huh? You want this?
Yeah, yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, nice.
Tells its supporters not to lay down arms and prepare for the next stage.
Man, I don't want to quote the like the American intelligence. Wait.
Go ahead.
I'm reading the statement.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. You can take your time.
Al-Qaeda's general. You know this guy's biased as fuck.
Who, the guy who posted this? Or the general?
The guy who posted it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You want me to
He wrote that
translate
little book that you insulted, saying the book was not worth the money.
Yeah.
He wrote the book on the libification of jihad.
Yeah. You know, when we say that, we say it as an endearing thing, right? But these people say it as in like like they kind of saying like it's even worse. Like jihad has gotten even worse, right? Because they view liberals as like the ultimate evil.
Yeah, revolutionary people be like that.
I'm just gonna translate the first sentences because it's fucking hilarious. It says like Alhamdulillah ala namat al-Islam wa ittiba' al-athar. Um, thank g- thank God for the gift of Islam. It's like basically very Islamic.
I mean,
Praise to Allah and like the dawn of blah blah.
that's how they
Like
be.
like the, the first the first 10 page the 10 lines are
Mm-hmm.
very Islamic. Like it's like you even have hadith
So like
in it here.
I like started to like be able to like understand a lot of the speeches because 80% of their speeches are the same shit, and it's just like quoting like different things and saying God's great and thanks for this and that, right? So like I started
Yeah.
like being able to like not have to read subtitles when I was like really involved. Like my
Okay.
like if you watch enough of an anime,
Oh yeah, you understand
you
Japanese?
you basically don't know what they're saying if you don't even have to look at the subtitles some of the times because they'll always be
Yeah.
repeating themselves when they do like their move or whatever.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Anyway,
Yeah, it doesn't change that much. It's like the speech, like the starting speech. It's very it's very disappointing to be honest. But that's how they have to like that's how they speak to their people, right? This is how you this is how you control a demagogue fellowship. This is the only way. Like how else can you like control the uneducated idiots, fucking pieces of shit? I fucking hate people.
I mean, they are Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
but I hate how this is popular in Syria. I fucking hate it. You know when Hafiz al-Assad and Bashar al-Assad started killing people because of the Islamic Brotherhood, and that's bad. Like Hafiz Assad, Bashar al-Assad were little Nazis, right? It's like their camps, their
Little
Said Naya, they
Nazis.
killed hundreds of yeah, like because Said Naya was built by a Nazi, and they're very extremely like one of the worst dictators in human history, like one of the top, like Pol Pot and Hitler and all of these people, right, in the same camp. But man, like this, the Islamic Brotherhood is also fucking like there are no good parties, man. The good parties, you know what the good parties do in the Middle East? They fucking leave that fucking shithole and go to Europe.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is the ultimate brain drain. Like people tell me sometimes, why didn't you fight in Syria? Like, why didn't you fight? Motherfucker, who
For
am I
who?
going to fight with? For who? Fucking everybody is dumb as a fuck. You know, the first year I came in to Europe, uh, first I've told you this story before. Like first time we met, I I was talked into making a presentation at the university where I live and talking about like Syrian civil war and why people escape and shit like that. And after like I finished the lecture, German students, like university students, started asking me questions, and one of the first question was, um, why do you like escape through smuggling? Like, why don't you just like use your passports?
Yeah, how
These
come
like
you came here illegally?
these are like university students, right? And I was like, man, Europeans are as stupid as like Syrians. Like these people are as stupid as my people. Basically, they have institutions and money and material and generational enhancements and all of that stuff.
Anyway, anything else we want to get into?
No, I don't know.
Final thoughts?
Very tired.
Me too.
I was high before, but I'm sobering up right now. Mm.
Okay. Make sure to subscribe and like the video and scan that QR
And
code
stuff.
for awesome deals on ground news. And we'll be back next Sunday. Maybe James will wake up. We might be able to do it. We might just do it at like 4 a.m. because he might be up then, you know? Like, I don't know how that dude functions. He seems to sleep now, though.
Yeah, and I won't be high next time.
And watch, we'll end. James will wake up.